you. So it's interesting that and I'm watching it on Facebook right now too, on a couple of groups I'm in and some pages I'm in. The question around websites, CRMs, lead gen versus internet calling card, and why you would have one and the other or the other and all of that. So let's kind of just dissect it really quick. When you go in after this call today into Built to Profit, inside I have a new classroom called the Vault, and the Vault is going to be where it's general information about topics, and you can go deep in there for that. So one of the things I did this week was I went and did a little bit deep dive onto the lead generating website versus, and you guys can see my screen, right? Okay, good. Versus the internet calling card. Okay, now let me explain the internet calling card really quick. If you were to go to my website right now, and my website has always been an internet calling card. Okay, right now I've restructured it all to be it used to be a real estate site, and now I do more of the consulting coaching site, right? So I just use the same Playster site. It's, I don't know, $59 a month, and it has the ability to have an IDX. So it does have search, it does draw leads. I can do a lot of things with it, but I decided to move it off of real estate. So this is one thing I want you to know. A website out there that would be normally a $69, $59 a month website like Playster is an internet calling card. It gives you credibility. You're out there, especially if you're a solo agent or a team that does not generate or does not want to generate online leads. Okay. And there is a purpose for online leads, but you have to be ready for them. So internet calling card, I don't have an IDX on this. I don't need it. Realtors don't need to come to my site to search IDX. But I do, for my past clients, have the home value calculator on here. So my past clients of 30 some years in Southern California can still find me on the internet. It's an internet calling card. They can still find me, and I want them to be able to find me, because then I want to refer them to Jim down there in Corona, so he can then take them out and show them properties, or he can go list their houses. So inside this, and it's so slow, it's working so slow. Inside this is I put my Real Scout. I turned off the IDX to Playster, but I'm paying for $99 a month for Real Scout for the IDX and home valuation system, which I just put their landing page widget on my website, my calling card. So here's their home value, and this will take them right into Real Scout. Real Scout also has search ability. So it's an IDX along with home valuation. So see, knowing what these products can do for you is step number one. Okay, so when you're doing this, you have to say to yourself, the question you should ask is, why do you want a lead generating site? Why do you want a non-lead generating site? Okay, because they both have a place in all of this. So that's why I wrote this whole thing out. So non-lead generating options, and I gave you options. Okay, so start here, Mary. Mary, you have, and we kind of tapped into this on messaging and the DM, and you have a Sierra interactive site along with their CRM, which is a 2-in-1. It's built in, so it's a front-facing website along with a back-end CRM. And then you also have something called
Close.
Oh, you have Close, and Close is given to you as a CRM from your main brokerage.
Yes, and Real Scout is attached to that.
And Real Scout is attached to that, but then you've also purchased Blue Door and GGMS.
I do not have GGMS anymore. I have Blue Door that will help me go through the people coming in.
Okay, so Blue Door is kind of like an ISA kind of thing?
Kind of. It's like It's like GGMS. It goes in and it has different action plans you can put people under.
Okay, so these are action plans now. So
Mhm.
I'm going to use Mary today as an example, and she's going to play with me on this. So Mary, why are you doing internet lead generating? Why do you want to do it? What's your why?
My why is to grow my database because there were so many years where I sold a specific builder's product that I lost out on a lot of having my own sphere of people.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
lack of
So instead of nurturing, when you work for a builder, instead of going year after year and making all those people that bought those homes, whether they bought through you or not, your adopted buyers, your new future sellers, and working that business, you kind of dropped the ball on that, it sounds like, and you only got them into homes, sold those new builds, and then left. So you needed to generate leads in the back end. Okay, so that makes sense. So who else on here has a lead generating website, whether it's Ylopo, Sierra, Sync, can be any of the top ones out there. Who's got one?
I got Ylopo.
Ylopo. Ryan, what do you have?
Yeah, so it's a luxury presence.
Luxury Presence. Joan, what do you and Doug use?
We have luxury presence also. We just started using it.
Okay, and Julia just joined. Welcome, Julia. What do you have for an internet website?
I love to.
Lofty. And that's do all of you, raise of hands, are you spending dollars, not just on the platform, but spend for lead gen? So you're buying leads. Do you all have that turned on? Okay, no on Ryan, no on Joan and Doug, no on Jim. Mary does. Julia, do you have any spend going out for leads? Okay, so out of 5 of you, only 1 of you is generating leads with spend. You're all using your websites as a internet calling card, okay? And that's okay. Because the reason you have it is because you have leads and business you're generating from other sources, okay? And you want them to go somewhere to search IDX. Now, here's the catch. How many of you also are paying for Real Scout? Jim, Mary, the other 3, so 2 out of 5.
I just signed up for it and I'm not paying yet.
Okay, so let's talk about Real Scout. Oh wait, let me ask one more question. Who is using Follow Up Boss as their CRM no matter what else they have? 3. Mary, and you're using Close and back end of Sierra. And Julia, what you're using what for a CRM?
Lofty.
Lofty. Okay, so Julia's over here in I have one product and it's what I want to know, and that's all I'm going to do. Okay, so does Lofty, Julia, have a home valuation landing page? Okay, and they also have the IDX attached.
They do.
Good, perfect. Okay, so here's where you guys have to make a decision, because the tech companies out there know we are shiny penny people. We will buy pretty much anything they put in front of us, okay? Why do you think next week at Summit, Tom Ferry Summit, why do you think all of those vendors are out there in the front lobby area and in the back now, right? And they pay a lot of money to Tom Ferry to be there. Like those booths cost those people starting around 10 grand, okay, to be there. So when you think about that, they know they want your eyeballs and they want to hook you on spending what? $50 a month to $1,500 a month, okay, depending on what you're doing. I ask you all to start here. Do an audit of what you're doing this with. And I'm going to be talking with Mary one-on-one today, because we're going to dive deep into her products and we're going to start going, keep this, get rid of this, keep this, get rid of this. Okay. You have to know why you are doing it. Now, it all ties back to last week's class. If you're not working your CRM correctly, none of it matters. Not a damn thing. Okay. Luxury Presence, just to talk about that one for a minute, is a beautiful site. They make beautiful sites. They are luxury. They commit to luxury end. So they're beautiful sites. They're expensive, right? So, so do you believe that you can drive traffic to your website, no matter what you're paying a month for it, to get people to start clicking on search for homes and have it go, and home valuations, and have it go into your CRM so you can start nurturing and contacting those people? Do you believe you can do that without cold lead buying?
I think that Ylopo is a far better solution than Luxury Presence. If there's one thing that I regret, it's the change from Ylopo to Luxury Presence. Like our Ylopo stream of business that was coming through was fabulous, and then they've, you know, the back end, how in follow-up boss you can see where all their activity is. It was I was kind of pushed into doing Luxury Presence, and I wish they would have dug my heels in a lot more when that was happening. But
Funny,
you know,
I literally was just listening, watching a stream on somebody else's stream. I think it was Follow Boss Community yesterday, and like 8 people said the exact same thing.
really,
They all
yeah.
said they should have never, not just specifically Luxury Presence, but they should have never. The question was, should I go to Brivity and use Brivity? And like 3 people said, warning, warning, danger, don't do it. Right? I went down that road, don't do it. It'll screw up your business. Bunch of them said stick with Ylopo and Follow Up Boss connections. And then, but the main thing is that if you're using Follow Up Boss, and let's talk about just Follow Up Boss, it is the #1 CRM in the country, okay, for a reason. It works well. It's easy to use. It's good user interface. I like to look at it, right? It's got a
I
great
think
app.
it wasn't though when you got everybody on it. It was just a tiny,
It was
tiny
tiny, and
company.
but see, they stayed in their lane and they
Yeah,
built it to be bigger, right? They stayed in the lane of, we are a CRM, we are not a website, we are nothing but a CRM nurturing product, and we will play in the sandbox, open API with everyone. Okay. What's interesting is I had a demo of paperless pipeline a couple days ago, and I hadn't had one in a while. I thought, oh, let me check them out, right? And it was fine. It's a broker compliance product and a transaction manager, like an independent transaction management company, that kind of product. It's not a transaction management product for you as agents. And he came right out and said, we do not have open API, so our connectivity with other products is light, right? So I've always said, if you've ever heard me speak on stage, I've always said, when you're looking for products, the one question you should ask them is, do you play in sandbox with others, right? Will you connect? Now, to the point of what website you should have and how you generate leads, this is a strategy, you guys. You have to have a strategy. And if you don't have one, you are flailing in the wind. Yeah, see, Mary's going, yes, I know. And what happens? Money down the tubes. Like, you know, so like Ryan found out the hard way going from Ylopo to Luxury Presence. He's not only spending more money, he's losing money and no money coming in from lead gen, because Luxury Presence is not a lead gen system. It's okay, but it's meant to be beautiful for the luxury market, to impress your sellers. Okay, so that's what you have to understand, why you're getting what you have. Now, I know, Jim, you have Ylopo.
Correct.
You've done both. You've bought leads and you've shut them off, and you've kept the process. I have one question to ask you, though. It connects to your Follow Boss.
Yes.
Do you ignore the Ylopo lead alerts like every other agent in the industry?
No, actually, I get quite a few. Sometimes they'll come in, I'll see somebody that looked at something and it's been like 388 days. It's like, oh, great, look at what they're doing. So then I'll try to reach back out to them. So yeah, when I get them, I do reach out, unless it's the same person I've seen over and over and over and have made calls to and know it's going nowhere, then I know those are nothing. However, if it's a name I haven't seen in a while, hey, I'm on the phone.
And then did you set up the the nurtures and the campaigns, action plans for the ones that are just like long-term, not like you comment, you reach out to them, they say, well, yeah, we're just looking, and you just give them the thing. Do you have a drip campaign going out, or do you just like leave them in there and you reach out every so often?
There was a drip that was already set up from Ylopo when they did the initial setup. So whatever the initial setup that they already did is what's in there.
Got it.
But I don't do anything other than that at this point.
And
I've
I know
noticed
you.
some new things are coming out because I'm seeing some new comments going out to some of the buyers. So they're updating it evidently.
And you've never hired anybody to go in and update your campaigns and action plans and anything like that. You've just used what Ylopo has given you.
Correct.
Yeah. And I know you're really good at following up on the leads when they come in.
Yes.
You're like, you know, a dog on a bone when it comes to that. So, so that's the key, is that you have to reach out. What I saw a lot of the time was people ignoring the lead alerts. Okay. I had a conversation with a client yesterday on our one-on-one, and I said, you need a home valuation. She just ended up setting up luxury presence. Okay. And she was still in that place of, I don't want, you know, they're not right. So I had to show her the back end of Real Scout, of my Real Scout, and show her that there's a reason they're not right. In fact, now the really good home valuation systems like Fellow, that's a seller lead gen, and like Real Scout, they're putting multiple estimations on. They want to create confusion with the consumer. That's the goal. You don't want it to be right. You want to be able to reach out to them, or them call you or email you and say, what the heck? Why is it like I did mine yesterday for my house in La Quinta, California, and it was $1.3 million on one Atom, ATTOM, and it was 835 on the Zillow estimate. Okay. If I'm a consumer, I'm going to be going, excuse me, you know, which one's right? That's where we come in. So I think you guys need to really look at the reason why you want a lead generating site versus a non-lead generating site. Second, you need to look at the products you're using that will generate leads organically. Now, organically means you have a website like Julia has. She's not spending any money, but I guarantee you, if she's doing YouTube videos and adding them to as a blog or a vlog on her website, if she's blogging on her website, if she's driving her past client database in her newsletters back to the blog that she wrote or the video she did on her website, she's going to get organic traffic. Okay. That's the goal, that you're not spending.
Just for reference, about 15 to 20 free organic leads per week.
And because you are blogging, you are sending it out in your newsletter, people are linking on it. Are you doing any like boosts on Facebook or social media?
Just started doing few of the Facebook posts, but that's not what's driving traffic. Google local ads, we just literally started in May. I've been getting like 3-4 phone calls a week. Majority of the phone calls are coming from our existing listings. So people are requesting information. And then my KCM blog, I have the RSS feed. That's the only newsletter so far, because most of the systems are just automated. That's it.
I love it. It's simple and it's working. Okay. That's what I want you guys to do. Think about simple that works. Okay. And you mentioned something that I just found out yesterday, and I'm going to connect it to my Follow-Up Boss, is the KCM has a connectivity to Follow-Up Boss now as an integration. And I think, and I'm going to play with it this week, I'm pretty sure I can use it from there. And I know, Joan, you were asking me about this. I'm pretty sure you can use it in your newsletters right out of Follow-Up Boss. So the email newsletter that I sent out to my database that I put inside Built to Profit, that one I literally I just added the pictures, did the copy, the text, and added the pictures myself. And I noticed when it came up, it wasn't the right size, it wasn't mobile friendly, you know, but I'm pretty sure if I connect the KCM to my integration with Follow Up Boss, then it'll make it all look perfect. So, I mean, you're already paying for KCM, you got to use it. The data is great, right? So these are really inexpensive ways to not have to spend money on leads. So Mary, you and I are going to talk deep on that one. So
Yvonne,
inside,
just one
yes.
more. How are you using KCM to do that? I missed where you were with that.
Okay, let me show you.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about this too, because I've had an issue where I try to copy something from KCM and post it or paste it into Follow Up Boss, and it wouldn't let me do it as a batch. Like if I was going to do it for an individual person, it was fine, but if I to batch it, it gave me a hassle.
So here's what I did. I created a batch email with my past clients. There was 300 and some. Where's it at? Where are all the buyers and sellers? That was my batch email. It went out to 312, 301 sent, 168 opens, 17 clicks. No one subscribes, no bounces. Now, when I go in here, I'll show you the email. I literally wrote all of this, but then I had screenshot as a JPEG these from this was from another product, just some data that I get in an email, like those calculating whatever, the different ones, the guys that send emails with the stats for the nation. And then these are the KCM numbers. And so I just put these in as a picture because when you're doing an email, you can insert a photo. Okay, so this is what I sent out. And these were all from KCM. So now I'm hoping when I integrate KCM with Follow Up Boss, I'll be able to pull these in automatically and I won't be having to put them in as a screenshot, as a picture. So that's how I did it. Yeah, see, and that's how I did it. But
So the way I do it is I use the MailChimp. So every new lead that comes into Lofty automatically gets signed up to MailChimp because through I'm actually using Zapier because Lofty does not connect automatically. So I'm using, just that connection or AI, whatever. And then my newsletter in MailChimp is the RSS feed from KCM. I've been using it for the last probably 7 years since I've ever started using. So it comes out, every Tuesday. But then my blog in Lofty in WordPress also has the same feed. So every day that the blog comes out on KCM, it automatically posts it because I don't have the time to blog, but it's relevant information. It's not.
Oh yeah, you're doing it the really easy way, which I love. And if you just listen to that, if you take nothing away to get a monthly newsletter out, that's how you do it. Yeah. You automate it. Okay, so, and the information, Julia's right. I mean, you're looking at the analytics, right, Julia? So people are opening.
I get my clients are elderly. They're all above 60 to let's say 80, majority of them. I get feedback almost every week that they love the newsletters. They just communicate back to me that if that's the only thing I'm doing, I mean, Patrick hates it. He's on my ass for a few years now.
Patrick's an analytical and loves to write stuff, and do his own thing. So that's funny. I was just emailing with him earlier. So I love this. And so you guys, this is another reason why you look at your products and you determine what do they integrate with? What's in the back end? What can you utilize, right? To make your life better. That's what the tech is for. So let's move on from website.
Yvonne,
Yes.
Can I ask a question
Yes.
real quick? So I currently use Constant Contact for my e-newsletter. Is that worthwhile to keep that now that I have this, batch email and Follow Up Boss?
So first off, you guys, what I'd like to address in this comment is when you're using something like MailChimp, Constant Contact, I use Flowdesk, an outside email, okay, that's going to go out. And I don't know, Julie, if you're doing this or not, you should have an email address that is not like Yvonne at Yvonne Arnold. I don't want to get my Yvonne at Yvonne Arnold blacklisted. Okay. So what I use is hello at Yvonne Arnold. And Google Workspace allows me to create, I can't think of the name of it.
Alias. Alias.
An alias. Thank you. Allows me to create an alias, which will then help buffer whether or not you're going to get blacklisted because somebody has marked you as, too many people has marked you as spam. Okay. So that's just a note for yourself in the back end. But yes, constant contact, you can do that. The first thing I would do is do exactly what Julia just said. I would look at the back end of your CRM and say, does it zap or does it have a direct integration with constant contact? Because if it doesn't, you're manually adding leads into the other outside product. We're trying to get away from manual work. Okay. So that's the key is I would look to see if your CRM connects with a Zap or with integration with constant contact. And if constant contact, if it doesn't, then you should move to MailChimp. And some people have moved off of MailChimp because it's expensive. And with the number, see, Julia just went, yeah, exactly. Because the more people you get up there, the higher numbers you're sending out, the more expensive it gets. But that's also why you could then go and do it through Follow Up Boss. If your CRM will do it, right? Because Follow Up Boss uses a thing called SendGrid. SendGrid keeps you in between the navigational beacons, as Jimmy Buffett would say. So you're not put into that world of getting spammed or marked as spam and blacklisted and put into, spam folders of people, and you're actually getting seen. So that's why, like Alex Shakoff, who I've interviewed, who is an email guru. Okay. That's what he does. He goes into companies and he fixes their back-end email systems. And he's on the Follow Up Boss community as well. And he sends a weekly email to me, and he is a proponent of stay inside your CRM with your mass emails. He doesn't even like MailChimp or Constant Contact or any of those. Okay. Now I disagree. And he and I had a little conversation back and forth because I'm like, realtors like pretty things. Okay. That's why I'm like, ooh, look, I can send out these infographics from KCM and it makes it prettier as a newsletter to my database because I want it to be pop, right? He's like, don't put any emojis, don't put exclamation points, don't put any pictures. He's like purist. And so I told him, I said, you got to get a little looser on this because we're realtors, so we're all about the visual. So, okay. So that's inside the vault. You can read through that. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was the VA question. So we did the class on how to hire and train a VA. And some of you were like, and I know he's not on today, Matthew, but you were like, he was asking, how do I communicate with my VA? You're like, what's his question was, do you think VAs can service clients as good as or even better than an in-person office assistant? Let's talk about that really quick. Yes and no. It depends. Okay. What do you consider service? What do you want them to do? A VA can do anything you want them to do, train them to do, and allow them to do. Okay. They can call, they can talk to your clients. There's ways they can be in other parts of the world and they work on a Zoom number, or they work on a Skype number or whatever, right? They can even call through your CRMs if they have phone number capability. So the question is what do you want them to do? And this is where everybody hops over that part. They don't think about, they just hire the person. And whether it's an in-person or in-house or virtual, they just hire. And there's no thought around what do you really want them to do? Okay. So number one, you've got to write down what you want them to do. Like make a list of everything you want them to do. I mean, it can be from like, I need somebody to get my cleaning. I need somebody to put lock boxes on. I need somebody to take my dog to the groomer. I need somebody to set up my automations. I need somebody to do my video editing. Okay. Everything you want someone else to do, make a giant list. Now, here's the key. You are not able to decipher that list. You haven't been able to so far if you're in this quandary. Okay. So if you have a coach, if you have someone you can go to that has an organized thought process about what is what job description, then you share it in a Google Drive and you let them tell you, this is a personal assistant, dog grooming, cleaning. Okay. This is an in-house operator. This person does this X. Maybe they are they're care bear. They take your closing gifts to the clients when you close. Maybe they're the ones that sets up your events for you. This one handles all video editing and marketing and social media. Okay. Once you start determining what goes where, now you can go in-person, in-house, virtual. And now you can decide if you want them calling people, it's a TCLC or ISA. You just have to determine, are they calling leads or are they calling your clients? And are they working on transaction and listing coordination, or are they just nurturing cold leads, inviting people to your open house, whatever. But now you have to then determine, okay, what systems do I need to work in with them? So I always use the marketing one because it's the one that is the easiest to get off your plate, automate, and have done from afar, and the cheapest one to hire, because it's it's under $15 an hour. Okay. And nobody in any market right now, I don't care what market you're in, is hiring anybody for less than $15 an hour. Okay. In person or otherwise. So you could find somebody for $10 an hour in the Philippines or in Costa Rica or somewhere that can actually do a lot of these things. So the marketing is the easiest. So how do I communicate marketing wise? I'm a fan of the Trello board. First off, it's free. Okay. I'm a big fan of free. So you have to learn to work like this. You have to take your real estate agent cap off and put your CEO cap on. And even if you only do it like once or twice a week, you have to do it. Okay. If you want your team and your business to grow, because you are the vision and you are the one that's directing traffic. However, you've got to have the stoplights and the people, the little, crosswalk guards that you're telling out what to do. So I built out my vision, or my Trello board, with titles that I understand. You're going to have your own titles. Okay. This is a marketing first platform because my VA does mostly marketing for me. However, she will also do things inside my follow-up boss. She's an admin inside follow-up boss. So she knows if I say, send this email out to this group of people, she can send that email out. Okay. She knows if it's a lead, I can say to her, forward this to Jim and assign this to Jim so that, and notify him he needs to call this lead because it's a real estate lead. So she has recurring tasks. She has her VA tasks. She has the things that she's doing. She move it from to do to doing. Because remember, it's a do, doing, done board. Then she'll put things, for revisions. When there is stuff for me to do, she will drop it into my board. Now, all this notifies me through email. I do not have my text notifications on, but it notifies me through email so I can control notifications. So I go, oh, she's done something where I have to go look it up. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go, okay, what do I need to see? What's inside my Yvonne's to-do board? These will wait for me. Like you can see, Substack newsletter. I'm checking out Substack. When I get what I want to know about it, I'll put my notes inside this card. Okay. I will put my notes inside this card and see, I have all kinds of examples that I'm reminding myself I need to do. It's a project. Remember we said, get shit done, block out your 2 to 3 hours a week to get shit done. This is my get shit done board. I'm going to go research all of this. I'm going to check out the content. I'm going to see what it does, why I would want to use Substack in my business. Okay. That's coaching and consulting, not real estate. And then when I figure it out, I'm going to put all my notes in here. I can do a checklist in here. I can add a checklist and I can say, at assistant Christine, check out my notes and build a sample newsletter. Oops. In the Substack account I've added you to. That's going to notify her she has a task. Once I do that, I can go over here and I can move it over here to revisions. She's now going to know that that needs to be worked on. Okay. Now, the other thing is I go over here. I want my social media. Now, I use for social media posting. And if you want to get really in line with consistency, you use a social media posting calendar. It's Metricool, Loomly. I like Back At You. It's a real estate product. Why do I like Back At You? Because it syncs with my local MLS and will pull my new listings. It's kind of cool and it's super cheap and simple. It's like 55 bucks a month, I think, or 75 bucks a month or something like that. But here's my calendar. This also will keep me from getting my social media suspended or blocked or locked by the social media companies because my VA is not logging directly into my social media products. Okay. She is going in here and posting, and all of this is connected to my social media sites. So now she can post this and it's going to go out tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And it's my new carousel. And it's going to have the carousel in it. And it's going to say, go to link in bio, sign up for the new Think Tank Tuesdays with Yvonne. It's free weekly. Okay. It syncs with me MLS. So it's also going to give me things like the home calculator. By the way, they have their own home calculator, but I can change this link and you can see I did it. Christine did it. She's directing them to my home calculator on my website, which is Real Scout. Okay. So, and I can advertise from here. If I want to advertise this, it pulls it up and I go like this and I say, I want to do medium, most popular, $10 per day for 5 days. It's going to be 50 bucks. The campaign summary, it's going to be social media ad, budget total 50 bucks, submit 50. And then it's going to go ahead and say, create another post or see your scheduled event. So now I go in here and I want to delete it. I can go in and delete it. By the way, Christine, please delete that. I don't want to spend 50 bucks advertising that. So that's how that works. Okay. Now, if I want my listings on here, I can go in here and I can say it's syncing with my MLS. I can add a listing manually right here. I can also schedule a listing post, manage open houses, create a postcard order, listing report. There's just a bunch of stuff that this product will do that also everything in Back At You using a Zap dumps into my CRM. Okay. So now the leads are coming through. It's showing source is Back At You. So anything that comes through here, I know that they got that ad or something like that. So this can go out to your sellers. I know, Jim, you use listing reports, but if you wanted to also double up and use something like this, this is where you can see, and it shows what your social media reach was. And this goes right to your seller. So I am a fan of communication through technology with your VA or your assistant, anybody. Okay. So any questions around that? Good. All right.
Looks great though. I need to up my game there.
So how are you communicating with your assistants in-house or virtual?
Well, I have Lily here, so I kind of just shout stuff over the cubicle. So
I love it.
and she shouts stuff back. But we also still have Charmaine. I don't know if you remember Charmaine, but Charmaine was the so I don't know if you I mean this Charmaine started with Cyberbacker, and then we didn't have her for a while, and she kind of came back without Cyberbacker. So she's honestly, I mean, she's, you know, for anybody that's thinking about getting a VA, like she may as well be here. You know, she always answers the phone. She's always, you know, you send a message to her, she responds, you know, immediately. But honestly, we just text a lot. And
Okay, so here's what I would tell you on that. So
yeah,
I tried to use Slack. It was just too cumbersome to me. I didn't need another app on my phone. But what I
same.
realized is what Google just came out with is chat. And if you have Google Workspace, just put the chat app on your phone,
Yeah,
because everybody that has an email address inside your
they're all
domain,
in there. That's what we should have.
it's
Exactly.
so good. It's so good. And
Yeah,
then you just create a group chat, and now you can have multiple chats. So
yeah,
now Christine and I communicate. So when her power's out, right? They have power outages there. She'll
yeah,
text me inside the group chat, and she'll go, "We had a power outage. I'll let you know as soon as it comes back on." So she's totally communicative, right? And so, and you need to know that, because if you're sending a message, an email, or you're thinking something's supposed to be getting done, and all of a sudden you don't hear from them, all of a sudden our brains go to, oh, great, my VA's not responding. I got to hire another one, right? When
yeah,
in reality, it's because they haven't been able to communicate with you. But this always works. It's the weirdest thing, right? So
yeah.
it's like texting just on your phone. So I would highly recommend looking at that. I know some people use Google Meet. But the Google Workspace stuff is actually very, very easy to use and integrate. So I would start talking like that instead of filling your text stream, because here's what happens. Your texts are going to load up, and then when you're on vacation, or you're on the beach for the day, or you're out with the kids at the racetrack, Ryan, all of a sudden you're looking at your text and it's blowing up, because it's your team talking where you're not even needed, right?
Yeah.
You're not needed there. So literally, you should get it off of your personal text. But then I'm
Yeah,
also a fan
yeah.
of getting it off your personal phone too, right? You should keep your personal number your own. And again, use a phone number that's inside your CRM or something like that. So
Yeah, so Charmaine is in Follow Up Boss, and whenever we communicate, we always communicate through Follow Up Boss, and you know, and she's actually a lot better at getting back to those messages quickly than even I am. I mean, you know, that's one thing that I still am not used to, but it's, you know, there's no easy solution around it, but just you know, texting in Follow Up Boss and being as diligent about those texts in Follow Up Boss as you are in your own iMessage. You know, it was something that that I never enjoyed in the beginning, and you know, 8 years down the line, I still don't really enjoy it. So you've just got to keep going in there and just check. I think that your method, I think you taught me this, of just keeping a clear inbox and just closing everything off. I think that's really important. But I just started with a new little system which I wanted to tell you about, because you
yeah,
might
please.
really like this. So I have you come across the company Send Blue?
Send
It's
Blue.
so they set it's basically a automated drip texting service, but they send blue messages, and I guess that they've got some kind of like fleet of iPads, or like mini iPads or something, and somehow they've got this computer system that's tied to an app that you can it integrates with Follow Up Boss, so you can have it on your you can have it on the column on the side. So if people send text messages to Send Blue, you know, you can see it in Follow Up Boss. It's obviously a different number, but I've got it set up with so we have Fellow. So if somebody goes on Fellow, and if somebody checks out the home valuation, they within a couple of minutes of checking out the home valuation, they get a blue text message, and it's just like, hey, the first text message is, hey, this is Ryan with Coldwell Banker. And then like, 20 seconds later or something, it says, I saw that you're just on our website checking out your property's valuation. I just wondered what you thought to it. So, and then if they don't text back to that, there's like a whole slew of messages that go out over a period of time without being too annoying.
Is it lead engage blue?
See, no, so I just saw that when I was setting up so I've had Send Blue now for about 3 weeks, and I've got my first appointment then that I'm going on this afternoon. And when I went to set up the integration, I saw this and I was like, shoot, I may have missed out on something that was because
this is the direct integration.
Yeah, so and actually they sold it as a direct integration, although I never saw it on the integration page on Follow Up Boss. But when they did when they did like the onboarding with me, they took me into their Follow Up Boss account and they showed me the box. Because do you have is it the card the send out card
so
system? And
here's what you're talking about.
You know,
What you're talking about is okay. So this is good to know for reference. Follow Up Boss has approved integrations, but then they also have ability where companies can add a widget. Okay, so if you are, so if I go Ryan Skripkowski and I have an address, if I have a mailing address, which I don't know if this is still good, Longboat, Florida.
It's my yeah, that's my old work address. We need to update that. Correct. Yeah,
Open
and I have the same.
cards.
So they have a widget that goes just there. And obviously you can drag and drop that. So if you want to, okay, so that's not a direct integration.
No, it's not a direct. And what you have to be aware of is that at some point, Zillow, father company, Follow Up Boss, they might say, oh, we're no longer allowing these widgets to come in here. I always have a theory that Zillow has an ulterior motive, okay? But sometimes it's not a bad ulterior motive. They're looking at all these tiny little companies and they're figuring out, because remember, what was their main goal? To build the super app, okay? They want the super app. So they're looking at all these little tiny companies and then they start to absorb them. And then they build them into their products. So this might be the one that they went with, Lead Engage Blue. Okay, but that's great to know, Ryan, because I go back to you, Mary. That might be something that you should incorporate because you've got all these leads sitting in your database right now because you've been spending money on leads. You don't need to buy any new ones because remember, we know that leads sometimes take 3 to 4 years to convert.
Yeah.
So you could literally warm up those old leads with a texting program. But your CRM has to be playing in the sandbox. And what I know about Close is they will not to mention it's your broker's product, not your own. Okay. So there is a difference there. So
I think that with this, you're better off doing like a slow ramp up because they said that if you try and do too much too soon, they said you can actually lose your blue message and it goes from blue to green. And it's it's somehow restricted.
You guys know the difference of that?
Want to warm it up.
So the difference, a blue message, I believe, will hit Androids as well as iPhone. I believe.
I don't know about that.
iPhone, I believe, is the green message. And no, am I opposite on that?
So iPhone to iPhone is blue. Yeah.
Correct.
iPhone to iPhone is blue. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So and actually where this came about was a few months ago. I was stupid enough to put my information in to like try and get a health insurance quote online, and the amount of messages that I got after that was absolutely crazy. And out of all these messages, one person sent me a blue message. I must have had 150 companies that tried to reach out, and that was And that one that came through as a blue message, I still didn't go with any of them actually. And but it did stick in my mind as a as something that was it didn't feel like it was an automated, it felt like somebody was just texting me from their iPhone.
Yeah, very interesting. So
Mhm.
again, the person that I go to on text information is always Jesse Bodwin over at Call Action. He's really brilliant. He'll if you talk to him, he'll take up all kinds of time because he's a talker, but he's super knowledgeable. And he was probably one of the originals that doing the text program with Call Action. So but texting from your product is probably one of the most convertible ways of getting somebody. So if you're calling and you're emailing and getting no response, you should be texting out of your CRM. So
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
questions, any more questions of anything you guys want to cover, any questions you want to pick my brain on, you need help with, wins, challenges, tell me now. I'm here for you. So,
Awesome.
yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Joan.
So this may sound like a silly question,
Never.
but I have the Luxury Presence website. Can I use the Real Scout on Luxury Presence?
I believe you can incorporate, Luxury Presence allows a landing page,
Okay.
an additional page to be built. And that widget you saw of mine on my website is the ugly everyday widget that they give. But Real Scout actually has a pretty program of page that you can brand to your brand on your website. So
Okay.
yes, so you should talk with Real Scout and ask them to give you the step-by-step ways of adding that. And you could probably do it on the back end of your own Luxury Presence site.
And this would be like the home valuation
Yep.
landing page. Okay.
Yep, exactly. Because you already have an IDX from Luxury Presence that they're searching on.
Right.
Remember the whole purpose of getting people to search on your own products. And most of the time, you're not going to stop people from going to Redfin and going to Zillow and going all these places, right? Don't try. That's the big fight. Leave it to the big portals. But when you're working a buyer, if it's an actual active buyer, set them up on your own IDX e-alerts. So they get your stuff, it keeps them from going so much to Zillow and that. Okay. I like Real Scout because of that, because it allows them to build whatever criteria they want. It's not me setting it up like an MLS search. It's them building it the way they want to see it. Then I can see what they're doing on the back end and I can make suggestions. Okay. And I can go find stuff that maybe they're not seeing. So, so that's another part of that whole IDX program of why you have an IDX. And yes, you can definitely talk to Real Scout and ask them, say, hey, Coach Yvonne Arnold says you have a really pretty landing page that I can build on my Luxury Presence, not just a basic widget for home valuations. Can you give me the step-by-step process of how to do it?
Okay.
Okay. Julia.
Unmuted. So thank you for addressing the VA. I've had one VA was Sphere Rocket that I hired last year. Now I have two active and just onboarded one other one. What I want to say that may be helpful to everybody else is their culture, they are from Philippines, obviously. Their culture is they do not have initiative in most of the cases. You have to be so exact of what you need them to do. And even if you went through weekly tasks, you have to be on top of it. And that's been my greatest challenge. And what I took out from you today is, just sit down and spend the time and make a list of every task in my business that I don't want to handle, who handles it in-house or VA, and just to make it more clear, because I have
Yes.
never done that. But
Yes, thank you. That's great. And yes, do that. And then in-house or VA, super simple. And then determine, how you're going to communicate that to them. And like I said, you need a doing done board, something you're working off of, not just a text stream, not just an email. Too many people are just emailing their instructions and then they get an email back from their VA and now you're lost. I mean, literally this week I sat down with Christine and said, okay, I've gotten a little bit out of control on what I want posted and when. Let's bring it back in. It's kind of like Hitch, you know, stay right here. None of this dancing. Okay. Let's just stay right here, you know, so you have to bring it back in. You got to redo it. So thank you. That's great. I'm glad you got that.
I have
So
a question, like the social bay is the same as the social pilot, similar product, right? It's social bay that you showed.
oh yeah. So back at you
Social
has,
pilot.
yeah, back at you has like 3 different products. Social bay is the social media one, and you can buy it separate on its own. In fact, I will put the link to that. I believe it's in here. I believe it's in Built to Profit. If you look under Classroom, if you go to Classroom and look under resources, let's see here, affiliate links and quick reference resources, back at you right there. Social media scheduler and more. So you can just click that link and get a demo and then see if that works for you. But I like it. It's been working really well for me. Okay. Lastly, while I'm showing you the screen, I wanted to let you know, by the way, if you have not downloaded the school app on your phone and are communicating that way and reading stuff, you're missing out because it's so much easier, right? So you could totally download the app on your phone and just go in and then you'll see the different classes. Now, what I wanted to let you know is on the calendar, I've added an open to the public day. So every Tuesday at noon Pacific, so that's 3 o'clock Eastern, I'm doing a Think Tank Tuesday. There won't be any like deep like this. It'll just be Think Tank. It's like I'm going to be open out office hours. Come and ask me questions. It's open to the public. I'm looking to have more people join us so that they're in here for classes and all of that. So tell your friends, they can come in here, Think Tank. They will join it through my Stand store and get the Zoom link. And then this Zoom link will be public, and then we'll put the recording in here. So just want to make sure all of you know that there is an additional day that you can now come on for open Q&A, open office hours. I will answer price reduction questions, real estate questions, whatever you got. I'm here. I got 35 years of history in my brain, and I'm more than happy to share it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here today. And if there's any topics that you really want me to go deep on, I believe next week's class is going to be about transaction and listing coordination. So there's a lot of that is misunderstood. And so we're going to deep dive into that next week. All right. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll see you.
Appreciate you.
Bye, guys.
See you shortly, Mary.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.